Hello everyone, Phil here. Welcome to DSPReacts and welcome to my special event called the Darksyde of Machinima. For those who don't know, I am a 15-year-long YouTuber, and out of those 15 years, during the earlier years when it was impossible to monetize video game content on YouTube without being a part of a partnership network, I was a part of the Machinima network for about 6.5 years. And the funny part about that was when I first joined with Machinima, they were known as a very well-regarded, prominent network on YouTube. Everyone loved them and wanted to be a part of this network. But over the time that I was partnered with this company, essentially they saw a big fall from grace. A lot of people started to see them in a very negative light. A lot of criticisms and things started to come up about this company. And big-time YouTubers like PewDiePie jumped ship and wanted to get the hell out of there and not be a part of them anymore. In the meantime, when all that was going on, I remained a loyal partner with the company, okay? All the year, I started in 2011, I went all the way through 2017. And a lot of people asked me over those years, why did I stay with them? And we're going to talk a little bit about that today. Essentially, a lot of the things that happened with me were actually pretty good treatment, I felt, compared to a lot of the stories and horror stories that I was hearing from other partners. For example, I always had, at least for a good chunk of it, a direct point of contact to talk to about issues. I had my issues dealt with and or handled nicely. I was considered one of their bigger partners and was treated with respect and dignity. At least I was for some of the time that I was there. There's a reason why I left. Okay? So, today what we're going to do is we're going to go into the history. And I'm going to start at the very beginning, 2009, before I was even partnered with them. And what I'm going to do is go through topics and different emails that I have to show you basically the communications that I had with the company. Now, I have to forewarn everyone a few things before we get started. Number one, I can't be disclosing people's personal information. Some of the stuff that I had, sadly, that actually would have been really good, had other things on it, like a Facebook account or a Twitter account, which now would be called a X account or whatever, because the app just changed its name. And I'm not going to be showing personal information or things like that. If you see any emails, any email addresses in this, event that I'm doing, it's either going to be a defunct Machinima email that no longer exists, okay? Or it's going to be my personal emails. Some of them do still exist, and some of them also are defunct. Like, you're going to see, like, a couple really old email addresses here that I don't even use anymore, but you're going to see my active one, darksydephil@hotmail.com. That one I still use all the time, okay? So you're going to see that stuff. But no personal info will be disclosed here. It's not like I'm going to blow up someone's spot of all their shit. That would be really stupid, okay? And also, sadly, I can't really show you any of the contracts or the things that I had back then because they don't exist anymore. Back then, everything was digital. Everything was, hey, send you something via DocuSign.com or digitalcontracts.com, whatever they were called, and you would review the contract, read it, sign it digitally, send it back, and it would be archived on the website. The problem is when Machinima went out of business in 2019, they got sold off to Time Warner. Time Warner got bought by AT&T, and then they got liquidated. Basically, they all got laid off, and they deleted all their videos. The company went out of business. All of that contract stuff got deleted. They literally went in there and deleted every contract. So you can't find any of the archive stuff ever again, and I didn't save any hard copies of my contracts, a decade or more old. So sadly, I don't have the hard copies. I'll tell you, to the best of my knowledge and remembrance, the kind of contracts that I had with this company, so you can understand my perspective of what I was making and how good it was to be with them back in the day and how that degraded over time, okay? But I wish I had more to show you. You're going to see some of these conversations are one-sided, meaning for some reason in my archived emails, one side of the conversation is there but not the other, and I don't know what happened to the other. We're talking decades old emails that I have saved up in my sent folders and stuff, so I don't really have access to everything. You understand? But I did my absolute best to try to get everything for you guys, all right? So let's do it. Let's start. The Darksyde of Machinima. So, as I said, when I was an up-and-coming YouTuber back in 2011, I was looking to monetize my videos because I had lost my job. But my interactions with Machinima go back before then, which a lot of people don't know, because I never really mentioned back in the day these kind of stories, all right? Originally, when I started being a YouTuber in 2008, and in 2008, I had a channel called Darksyde Phil, where on a nightly basis after work, when I got home, I would upload a few videos of gameplay. And it was just, at first it was highlights. Then after a while, I actually started doing serious playthroughs and stuff like that. And in 2009, Darksyde Phil started to blow up on YouTube. Really, the main reason was because I did a variety of content, but Street Fighter 4 had released earlier in that year, was very prominent, and I put out a lot of Street Fighter 4 content, and I was getting a lot of views from it. So I was being known as one of the top YouTubers doing Street Fighter content at the time. And this got the attention of a lot of different companies and a lot of different people. I actually got a lot of offers back in the day from various companies to do content for them, to sign on this and that. And back then, here's the thing. I never in a million years imagined that I would take real effort or time to put out gaming content on YouTube. I saw it as a hobby. I saw it as a mess around thing. Never ever, seriously, did I think that it would be my job or that I would want to do it any time of a full-time capacity. So a lot of those offers I turned down and just outright ignored, all right? But at that time, Machinima contacted me, all right? And they offered to partner me in what they were calling a director's program for their, at that point, their new channel on YouTube called Machinima Respawn, all right? So let me take a look, because I don't know if I set up this email correctly or not. And, yeah, here we go. This is the first one. Look at this. Thursday, December 10th, 2009. Yes, I still have emails dating back that far, if you can believe it. All right. And so, what does this email say? I think I'm going to get rid of the logo, remove the logo here, because it's going to be blocking emails now. I don't want that to happen. You do it like this for now, okay? So, in this email, as you can see, this guy, Luke, had contacted me, all right, via email, because my email was even public back then, and I still use the Darksyde Phil email, all right? And he contacted me, and he said, hey, Phil, I'd like to offer you an exclusive partnership with us. You sign up for this contract. And what we're going to do is we're going to offer you to upload your gameplay videos that you're uploading already to your original channel, Darksyde Phil. But instead of doing that, come upload them on our channel, Machinima Respawn. And when you do, we're going to monetize your videos and put ads on them. And we're going to pay you a certain amount of money per certain amount of views. All right? And I was like, well, that's interesting. So basically, I wouldn't upload my content to my channel. It would be on your channel exclusively. And I would make money on the views. Now, what's funny about this, okay, is that when they first sent me a contract, all right, because I wanted to see what were the terms, what was this going to entail. They sent me a contract, and literally all the contract says is all you got to do is upload your videos to our channel, right? That's all it said, and then you'll get paid so-and-so per views. And that was it. It didn't say anything about any other terms, conditions, rules, nothing. It just said, just upload the videos to the channel, make money. All right? So as you can see, this is my initial reaction to the contract that this guy had sent me. And I say, well, since there's zero risk, I'm ready to sign, right? Let me know what to do and where to go, and this is done. Oh, by the way, let me put on my Gunner glasses. It'll actually probably help me to read it, too. It actually does. It magnified it. Nice. Okay? Can't wait to get my hands on the director's manual. That was supposed to be the manual that was going to give more details on how to make money and stuff. All right? Many of my viewers today were saying that I should be on Machinima. Laughing out loud. Let me know. Let's get this show on the road. All right? So, I signed the contract. I send them the contract. They approve the contract. All right? But, sadly, it didn't exactly go as planned. All right? The next email you're going to see is actually from several months later. And there's a good reason. Remember, this was December 2009. So I believe this email is from a little later. Let me take a look. So, yeah, here we are. So that was first week of December. Here we are a month and a half later. And as you can see in this email, I'm not very happy. Okay? I'm kind of upset about the situation. All right? Now, I can read this word for word, or I can paraphrase it, and I'm sure you guys would rather hear the paraphrasing than have me read this word for word. You can read it word for word if you'd like, all right? But basically, here's what happened. I signed a contract, and they said, we're going to send you a director's manual that'll give you some tips and hints on how to get your videos seen and more attention on our channel and make more money. Great. They sent me the director's manual, and you want to know what the director's manual was? It was a book of rules, of strict guidelines of what was allowed to be uploaded to Machinima Respawn. So they already had me sign the contract before they revealed to me that there was a list of rules. Just think about that. They legally bound me to an agreement before they said, oh, by the way, here's what you need to do in order to upload to our channels. All right? So basically, here's what the rules were. If you want to upload to our channel, you have to put the Machinima intro and outro on every video you upload. If you want to upload to our channel, it has to be non-HD. I'm serious. And this is 2009, but they were saying non-HD videos because HD videos are too big in size and would take up too long and too much size on our network. We want smaller videos than that. Okay? I mean, just that in itself is stupid, right? But then they kept going. They were like, what was the other one? Man, there was another really restrictive one too. Just really dumb stuff. Okay? So I basically went back to them. First of all, I ghosted them for like a month. I couldn't believe it when I read the email or this director's guide that they had sent me because I really felt like it was a bait and switch. I was like, you told me just here, all I need to do is upload videos to your channel. I'll make money, right? So I'll do that. Then they send me the rules after I've already signed a legal agreement for sending videos. And I was like, well, fuck them. Then if that's the case, if they're going to try to trick me, then I'm definitely not going to upload. And I didn't. So here we are a month and a half later, and I had never uploaded a single video over there because I felt like that was going to be like a trick. And what's the next thing, right? Let's say I upload a video over there, right? And basically, you know, now what's the next bullshit that they're going to, what's the next line of bullshit? So if I remember correctly, I think this is their response. Let's see. So basically it says, hello, Phil, thanks for the reply, you know, and basically he tries to basically say, listen, we're not trying to treat you like a kid. We're not trying to disrespect you, all right? But we're an up-and-coming company. We're a startup. And so we have all these requirements because this is necessary. This should be standard for the network. It's funny because he throws all these words at me. Oh, this should be standard for uploading to YouTube and the network. And I'm like, what are you talking about? On Darksyde Phil, my channel's taking off. I'm uploading a ton of gameplay every day. It's getting tons of views. I'm getting prominent and popular. Whatever is standard for you doesn't necessarily mean that it's the good thing for everyone, right? You're telling me that for every single video that I upload to your network, you want me to put an intro, it can't be HD. These are all things that I would never do on my own channel, right? So you want me to basically make different content for your channel, right? So basically, he blows smoke up my butt about it. He basically tries to sugarcoat it and be, oh no, this is not a big deal. You have to understand. And if I remember correctly, I think he did actually do a concession in the final email here. I think this is the second half of his conversation with me. Yeah, he tries to say stuff like, oh, we're a small up-and-coming company. Listen to this. A rising tide lifts all boats. What is this bullshit? Dude, I'm just a guy uploading gameplay videos to YouTube. I don't need your jargon. I don't need you throwing fucking mottos at me and shit. Like, what is this, right? Like, all I wanted to do was upload videos to YouTube as a hobby and have it be fun. That was it. This guy contacts me and says, well, keep doing what you're doing, but make some money doing it. Fine. So they send me the contract, I sign it. Oh, by the way, here's all the rules and regulations and things you don't do now that you have to do to make money with us. Wait, what? But that wasn't what I signed up for. I signed up to literally just upload my exact videos to your channel. That's what I told you I wanted to do. You said, yes, that's what it would be. And now here we are, and you send me a second list of rules. That's bullshit, right? So as you can see, they did make some concessions, but they didn't do all. Like they were saying, oh, no, you absolutely must have the logo, and you must do this and that. So you want to know the truth? I told them, no, I'm not doing that. And I never did. So in 2009, I had this talk with them. I signed a contract, right? And then I basically blew them off. And I never really spoke with it. Every once in a while, I get an email, hey, you ever going to upload? I just ignored it. I just completely blew them off because I felt like it really was a bait and switch. It was like, here's everything we're promising you, the world. Here you go, make money. Cool, let's do it. Oh, by the way, here's all the rules you need to abide by and all these things that you don't want to do that you have to do. And again, keep in mind, back then, this was not my job. This was just a hobby. I had a full-time office job. That's what I intended to do for a living for the rest of my life. And when I came home after that job, maybe for an hour or two, you know, at night, I would upload a few videos. That's what it was about. It wasn't about me doing it full-time. It wasn't about me trying to make a living doing it, but, you know, they kind of schmoozed me a little bit and said, oh, no, understand, this is going to be really cool for you. This is going to be good for you. You're going to make money doing it. Why not make money doing what you're already doing, right? And, you know, I guess they kind of fooled me. I guess at this point I was a little naive, and I just kind of believed everything that they were telling me rather than really questioning anything. And that led me to, sadly, being kind of fooled and signing a contract that I never should have signed, okay? So that was late 2009, early 2010. That was my first interaction with Machinima. Not a good one. Immediately, I feel like they're kind of like tricksters. They're trying to snake oil salesmen, do one thing. Oh, no, we went back on our word immediately. You got to do something else, you know? So I really didn't trust them at that point. I actually kind of felt like they were kind of snakes and kind of distrustworthy. So, you know, I never really wanted to do anything with them at any point, okay? By the way, I received a tip. Shout out to, well, first of all, Lord Prince Albert had done a super chat earlier, and I forgot to put him on the leaderboard. So let me get Lord Prince Albert on the leaderboard. I'm sorry about that, Lord Prince Albert. And I got a tip here. A $2.10 tip asking, how was my meal? Was the bread nice? The bread was good, but everything else was bad. All right, but that was previous on the stream. We're not going to talk about the meal all night, but thank you for the $2 tip. Okay. My next major interaction with Machinima was an interesting one. All right? This one, sadly, I can't show you anything about. And the reason I can't show you anything is pretty simple. It's because this interaction that I had with them was not through Machinima itself, but essentially through it was through oh, okay, I see what that is. Okay. It was through someone who I had a beef with. All right, so this was late 2010 into early 2011. But in late 2010, all right, I was continuing on with YouTube as my hobby. It wasn't my job. And then all of a sudden, I started finding myself in situations where, like, other YouTubers were talking about me. I would talk about other YouTubers. There was, like, I don't know. It's just drama, right? Drama. It's going to happen when you're becoming more notable or prominent. And at some point in 2010, I couldn't even explain to you the real situation that caused it. And here's why. A lot of things happened behind the scenes in, like, YouTube direct messages. Back then, YouTube was kind of a social network. So you had ways to contact other YouTubers behind the scenes with a direct message or a post on their channel and things that really, those systems don't exist anymore. In fact, YouTube completely turned off and deleted all direct messages like 6-7 years ago, something like that. They just decided out of the blue, we don't need these anymore. And they just deleted the whole system when they redesigned the site, okay? But I remember particularly there was someone, his name was Hutch. I don't remember his full name. I think his last name is actually Hutchinson. He goes by Hutch for short. Now, a little bit of background about Hutch. Hutch was someone who was a Call of Duty content creator. He made, I don't know if it was like quick scope montages or death montages. He would do videos showing how to be good at Call of Duty. Back in the day, you know, games like Modern Warfare 2, etc. were really popular, all right? So he was very well known on YouTube as a YouTuber for making Call of Duty videos. So Machinima contacts him, and not only is he uploading content to them, they say, we like you so much, we want to hire you to work for our company full time. So they fly this guy out to California. He uplifts his life. He moves to California. Now he's a full-time creator and employee of Machinima. And he makes videos about how they changed his life and all of this stuff. And I think what ended up happening was at one point, I was relaying my experience with Machinima from 2009, that bad experience, the bait and switch experience. And I think Hutch got wind of it. Now, Hutch was very defensive of his company because they literally changed his life for the better. So he's feeling nothing but rainbows, unicorns, and you know, stars and roses about this company. And so he actually contacts me, and we get into a beef. I don't know if he contacted me or if he made a video about it. He might have made a video about it, basically saying, oh, that Darksyde Phil talking junk about Machinima. He doesn't know what he's talking about and stuff like that. So we ended up going back and forth in videos for a bit. And then eventually we started doing DMs on YouTube. And actually when we sat down and we talked it out, we actually found out we had more in common than we thought. And we actually squashed the beef, as they say. And as of the fall of 2010, we were good. We were cool. There were no issues between us, and everything was fine. Okay? So why am I telling you this story? Well, because it was early 2011, and here's what had happened. In the course of about 3 to 4 months, here's what I went through. Number one, I got laid off from my full-time office job of almost 5 years, and I had nothing to replace it. I had bought a condo near that job in order to commute to it every day. And now I had no need to even have this condo because I didn't have my job anymore, and I didn't know how I was going to afford the condo. All right? I had attempted to monetize my content on YouTube. I was already in the partner network, or AdSense network, I should say, for my vlogging channel. But at the time in 2010, you could not monetize gameplay. YouTube would not allow you to monetize gameplay at all because they felt it was too much of a copyright risk. So the only way you could monetize videos is if you didn't have copyright and stuff. So it was like vlogging. So I had a vlogging channel where I would do daily vlogs and stuff like that. And what ended up happening was my viewers went to that channel and basically felt so bad for me when I got laid off from my job that they purposefully went there and just started clicking the ads like crazy, like going nuts, clicking on advertisements. All right. And basically what happened was YouTube has these systems in place. And after they did that for about a month and a half, I made an astronomical amount of money. Okay. I'm not even kidding. I think in 1 month I made like $16,000 on ads on my vlogging channel. Okay. So YouTube saw this and said, there is something horribly wrong. This is not natural. And they turned off my AdSense and said, we've detected invalid click activity. We don't even care what's causing it, but we can't allow you to have this AdSense. It's suspended indefinitely because we suspected that there's invalid activity. So now I can't make money on my vlogging channel anymore because they turned off my AdSense. So then in December of 2010, I went to Blip TV. And I started uploading my game content there. And Blip TV said they would monetize gameplay. That they would actually go the extra mile that YouTube wouldn't. And they would put ads on gameplay. Within 1 week of me uploading to Blip TV, I was the #2 guy on the site. I had surpassed other uploaders like Angry Joe. And the only person bigger than me on the site was the Nostalgia Critic. I had beaten everyone else who uploaded to the website. This is amazing. But I was young. I was naive, I was incredibly stupid, and I made a couple videos on there that were making jokes that were very insensitive. Essentially, they were jokes, yes, I will say it today, about the Holocaust, and they were bad jokes that shouldn't have been made. Today, I know that. Back then, I was like, oh, everything's fair game, everything can be joked about, and it was very, very bad that I made those jokes. And basically what happened was I had haters, and my haters took those specific videos, and they sent them to, like, the bigwigs at Blip. Like, they actually found them on social media and sent clips of my videos to them and said, this is the kind of content where basically you have a new guy there who's big, but look at the content he's putting on your site. Are you aware of this, and do you condone this? Right? So I went from being #2 Mr. Big Shot. They were actually sending me, oh, we're going to set up a conference call, you and all of our big guys at the top. We're going to have a big talk about how to strategize your gameplay, how to make it a big part of our site, how to make you like the poster boy of gaming on Blip TV, and that to talk about the future. And within 1 week of that happening, they contacted me and said, all that's off the table because we saw your bad jokes. They're in bad taste. You're banned from the site. Wow. Oops. I guess I fucked up, huh? I did. I fucked up pretty bad. All right? So, within 3 months' time, I lost my full-time job. I lost my ability to monetize my content on YouTube. And I even lost my ability to upload to a third-party site and make money. Wow, that was a good streak for me, wasn't it? So where am I going with this? Well, basically in January of 2011, I didn't know what to do. I thought I exhausted all my options. So I actually wrote Hutch a message, a direct message, actually I take it back. I wrote him an email because I actually have the email. So I wrote an email to Hutch at Machinima, and I basically relayed to him my story. All right. Now I'll be honest. Back then, I sugarcoated it. Did I actually tell him how racially or how insensitive my jokes were on Blip? Of course not. I tried to sugarcoat it and act like they weren't a big deal. They were. But to me at that point, I was younger, I was immature, I didn't think they were a big deal, okay? So I basically tried to tell, listen, this is messed up, and I don't know what to do, all right? So what Hutch does is he says, listen, so I don't handle partnerships, but I know who does. So I'm going to hand you off to our partnership team. I think Phil's a good match for us, right? And, let's talk, right? So we did. So here's what happened. We went back and forth for a little bit, and my concerns, essentially, of being with Machinima were that I had tried to work with them in 2009. We had a serious conversation. I had already signed a legal contract with them to upload to the Respawn network, and then they gave me a bait and switch, where they fooled me into a bunch of rules that I hadn't agreed to, but I had already signed a contract to upload. So that's what this email is here, is me basically going back to them, and I said, listen, I'll be honest with you guys, it's hard to trust you. You had your chance to make a good first impression. You did not. You made me kind of feel like crap because I thought that, I was going to just upload my videos to your site, but then you tell me, oh no, there's all these rules and things, and it's not fair. So I basically expressed all these concerns with these guys, and they said, let's have a call. We did. We called, we had a little powwow, and we basically began with my partnership. All right. And here's how it worked. It's not, I had to upload anything to their channel. By the way, I could have done that. The entire time that I was a partner with Machinima, they also had me called a director. Now, what a director was someone who made content and uploaded it exclusively to a Machinima-owned channel, whether it's just the regular Machinima channel or the Machinima Respawn channel. Like, you would make content for that channel, upload it, and then they would monetize it for the views it got on their channel, and you get paid for those. But I was part of that program, but I never did it. Like, I think in the entirety of the time that I was partnered with Machinima, I think I uploaded like 4 videos to their stuff. All right. Instead, the agreement that we're talking about here was that I was a direct partner with them. They were my MCN, or multi-channel network. So here's how that arrangement works. Okay. I have videos I make for my own channel, Darksyde Phil, and then later on it was DSP Gaming. So at this point, I think it was already DSP Gaming. Okay. I upload a video to my channel. There's an ability to claim the video, and when I click on that, essentially I say I own the rights to it, but I have a third-party contract with a company that they're going to get the advertisement rights. That company then will start running ads on that specific video. Any advertisement revenue goes to the company, but then that company has an arrangement with me to pay me a certain amount of money based on the amount of views that I get on the video. So the original contract that I had back then was for every 1,000 views, I'd receive $2. So to put this in perspective of how lucrative this was, a new release comes out. Let's say, I don't know, Uncharted 3 comes out. Big hot release for PS3. I go to the store and I buy the game for $60. I come home, I take out my camera, I film an unboxing video. All I'm doing is I'm unboxing the game, I'm looking at all the packaging inside of the game, I'm reading it, and I talk a little bit about my thoughts about the series. Maybe I played 1 and 2 already. This is the 3rd one. I'm excited for it. And I post the video up. It's like 10 minutes long. The video ends up getting 50,000 views on launch day. I just made $100. I haven't even booted the game yet, and I've more than paid for the cost of the game I just bought. Any video I make of the game is pure profit for me. Okay? That's how it was back in the day. It was that lucrative. All right? And so let's say I would do 10, 20 parts. The first 10, 20 parts are each making 50,000, 40,000, 30,000. They trail off down to like 10,000, 5,000. Within the first 20 parts of any playthrough, all right, first 2-3 hours, I have made, no exaggeration, $500 to $1,000 on that video game. That's how crazy profitable being a gaming YouTuber was back in 2011. It was out of control, the amount of money that you made on those agreements, okay? Ridiculous, like over the top amounts of money, all right? And I had it good because Machinima saw me as one of their top guys. If I had problems, as you saw in that email, these people now became my contacts. So if ever I had an issue with something at Machinima, I had people to reach out to and talk to. Although it wasn't all easy. For example, let me show you something that I ran into. All right. So what's funny is you saw that I signed up with Machinima in January of 2011. Here's February of 2011. You ready for this? In February of 2011, already I go to make my first batch of big videos monetized with Machinima. I'm going to make my first big payday, right? So I upload videos of Marvel vs. Capcom 3. It had just come out. All the videos get blocked on YouTube. Huh? Why? It said that they were blocked by Machinima. What? And I'm like, so already we're having problems, right? I already told them how apprehensive I was to sign a partnership with them because I felt like they were trying to fool me back in 2009. So I signed an agreement, okay? I signed an agreement. Okay, let's do it. Let's partner. The first batch of videos, big videos, Marvel videos, everyone wants to see Marvel 3 that I upload, they block them on YouTube. And I'm like, what the hell just happened? Why are my videos blocked? So come to find out, the whole thing was because I was one of the test cases for this program. Like, I was one of the earlier people to be under their partnership program, and they didn't even have like the problems worked out yet. So I was one of the first people. I uploaded this content and immediately had an issue, and they did fix it. As you can see, right away they responded. They talked to YouTube. They worked on it. They figured it out, and they got it fixed. Okay, so just as this evidence, I had people who I would talk with on a daily basis, and they would help me with everything. One of the major things and complaints that you heard about people who were partnered with Machinima back in the day is that they would partner you, and they would say, if you want help, you got to email us. And they would email and never get a response. It was like the company didn't exist or didn't want to talk to them. Not so with me. For me, for the most part, no issue. I always had someone to reach out and talk to, at least these earlier years. And we'll see as we get further into this, you'll see how things do change, okay? But in these earlier years, I didn't have any problems. Like, they were always up and at them. If something happened, they were there to help. Any concerns, any questions, any problems that I had, they would take care of right away. And the money started to roll in, and I started to make ridiculous amounts of money that first year, those first 2 years, actually, I would say. And Machinima then started to do some interesting things. Actually, I have a tip I have to shout out before we get to this next topic. Let's see who this is. Thank you to whoever tipped me. I got another $2 tip about the meal, asking how was it. I already answered this a bunch of times. I told you the meal was not very good. If you want to see a video on that later, it'll be live on the channel. Okay? So thanks for another $2 tip. Again, asking about the meal. All right. Someone's very concerned about the meal, apparently. Okay. Let's continue here. Okay. So, all right. So then, Machinima started running special promotions. And this is one of the earlier ones that they ran. Okay? Machinima decided at one point that they wanted to start doing non-gaming content. Or content that wasn't necessarily... it wasn't necessarily gameplay. They wanted to do, like, TV shows. They wanted to do other kind of edited content. And whenever they had a big one that was coming out, they would send an email like this. Okay? What's hilarious is, please do not share, resend, or discuss this online at all. There you go. Sorry, I can't talk about it, guys. I have to delete this. It says right there in big capital letters that I'm not able to discuss this, so I have to hide this email from you guys now. Oh, wait, you went out of business, so I can do whatever the fuck I want now, right? So, what they would do is they would send you an email like this. Now, would they actually talk to you about this first? No. No. Emails like this would come out of the thin air all the time, all right? And it would be like, so we got this really important project coming up, and we really, really need you guys to promote it. And if you don't promote it, you're going to be in trouble. So you better promote it for us. So here's what we need you to do. We need you to take this video of this project we're working on. We need you to feature it on your channel as your featured video for like 24 hours. We need you to direct links to it. We need you to actually like the video. We need you to talk about it in a video that you're making with your own viewers and tell them to check out the video. Now, I want you to think about this, right? does that really sound too kosher? Like, content on YouTube is supposed to be watched because people want to watch it, not because a bunch of people at one time are just all of a sudden bringing it up and mentioning it. And essentially, this is what Machinima was doing. They would partner YouTubers, but then they would try to force you to promote their own content. Well, isn't that kind of counterproductive? I don't care that you're making a show on Mortal Kombat. Maybe I'm playing Mortal Kombat, and I want people to check out my content on Mortal Kombat, right? So now I'm sending you elsewhere to watch content that's Mortal Kombat related when you could be watching mine. So isn't that kind of shooting my own self in the foot? But this is how Machinima operated back then. This is one of many examples. I only brought up the one because this was one of the earlier ones. So just to show you an example here. So after you would get an instruction like this, you had to abide by it or you'd be in trouble. So here's my response. I'm showing, listen, here's my channel, right? Here's DSP Street Fighter, which is one of my YouTube channels. And as you can see, I prominently featured your Mortal Kombat Legacy video on my channel. There it is, right? That's my featured video. That's what you're seeing when you go to my channel, okay? And I had to promote it. I did. I talked about it with my users or whatever. And I honestly, you know, back then I didn't think it was a big deal. Today I think about it and I'm like, yeah, it's kind of messed up. So you're taking me to use my real estate on my own YouTube channel, which you don't own. You own the rights to monetize the videos on my channel. You don't own the rights to my space, but you're demanding it. Like that email that they sent, do not share this with anyone else or talk about it. You must do this at this time. You must do this if you're a partner. Like, it was demands. It was outright demands. And of course, back then you're thinking, well, listen, I'm making big money with these guys, right? I better do what they say. I don't want that gravy train to dry up, so I better just do it. So my question is, how many videos did Machinima pump out that they had all these views on them and none of them were legit? Because remember, this is featured on my channel, so anyone who goes to DSP Street Fighter... Oh, see, I forgot to explain something. Back in the day, YouTube had autoplay. Do you know what that means? So it means that if you went to my DSP Street Fighter channel, there was a video there, and it automatically played when you arrived at the page, and it counted for a view. It counted for a view towards payment. You see? So if you wanted to make big money on a video, you would put that money or that video as your featured video, and anyone who went to your main channel page would be forced into a view that would count and pay you. So essentially, by taking this Mortal Kombat Legacy video from Machinima and putting it on my DSP Street Fighter channel, not only was I shooting myself in the foot because I wasn't making money on that video, and if I had a featured video, I would have been making money on that video, but also they're making money on my real estate. This is the equivalent of allowing Machinima to come to my fucking house and put a giant billboard on my front lawn advertising their own products. But it's on my house. That's what they wanted, and they demanded. They wouldn't want it, they demanded it. If you didn't do it, they would yell at you and say, oh, we don't know if we want someone like you as a partner if you're not going to buy in and support our endeavors or whatever, right? So that's messed up. And that's just something that I had forgotten all about those things. And now I'm starting looking at my emails. I'm like, wow, I totally forgot. That's completely underhanded. Because imagine if they didn't ask for this. This video might have gotten a couple tens of thousands of views. But how much you want to bet this video had like hundreds of thousands to millions of views because all their partners were putting it on their main channel page, giving them free views, right? That's messed up. That should have never been allowed on YouTube, in my opinion. Like, that's actually a completely underhanded business practice. And I don't know how they got away with it, but they absolutely did. Okay? And then it continued, because here we go, all right? Here's the next demand that they made. This is all over the course of 2011, by the way. The next demand that they made, all right, was that from now on, you must put a Machinima logo on your channel. And back then, see, what do you mean by that? Well, you know how right now on YouTube there's channel banners? Like right now, if you're on DSPReacts and you look up, there should be like a channel banner at the top of the channel you can see, right? So they would demand that you put a actual Machinima logo on your channel banner, all right? Now, they actually spun it, and I actually don't know if they say it in the, if they say it in this email or not, but the way they spun it was that this is a positive for you, all right? Because if you have that logo on your channel, that's going to protect you from issues on YouTube. What they were saying was essentially if you were part of the Machinima network, you were not going to have copyright issues. You were not going to have content ID issues. You would be completely immune to any issues on YouTube for being a part of their network. But in reality, the reason they really wanted that logo on the channel is because they wanted real estate. They wanted their logo to be out there so that everyone would think that they were an insanely prominent brand. And they felt, hey, you know, the more visibility that we have on YouTube, the better. So let's just, you know, let's do it. All right. Now, on top of that, there were other issues as well. For example, payment issues. Situations where, for some reason, I'm supposed to be getting paid and I'm not getting paid. Now, I just signed up with them, okay? And supposedly I earned money hand over fist. I'm going to make a ton of money, and the money's not coming through. They keep telling me, oh, you're going to get paid. It's coming. It's coming. And I kept waiting. Where's the money? And the money wasn't coming. And they kept basically blowing smoke up my butt, saying things like, oh, don't worry, we're working on it. It's a processor issue. It's this, it's that. So at first, I was really nervous. You know, I had worked with this company for about 2-3 months, and I wasn't getting paid yet. And I was like, what the hell's going on here? And I was hoping it wasn't a scam. Because again, I was nervous that in 2009, I had already been scammed by these guys. The good news is, it was just kind of temporary issues. It wasn't a permanent thing. And eventually, money did start to regularly roll in. Now, another interesting thing, all right? Here's an email from May of 2011. And you might say, Phil, why did you have all these different YouTube channels back in the day? You had DSP Gaming, which was your gaming channel, and you just saw I had a different channel called DSP Street Fighter. That one was just exclusively for fighting game footage. But I actually had a few other channels, if you're not aware. I actually had one that was called DSP Final... No, it was like Final Fantasy 13 DSP or something like that. And then I had another one that was called Red Dead DSP. Okay? So why did I have these channels? Because back then, in 2011... it was completely unsure if a company was going to allow you to do a Let's Play of their game or not. In particular with Rockstar, all right? Rockstar was giving everyone issues, even Machinima. Like, read here. Basically, even Machinima was saying we're having issues with Take-Two taking down videos on our channels. See? It says, to date, we've had 5 videos in the Machinima network struck with copyright takedowns. We contacted Rockstar about the videos, and we did have them deleted, and the strikes were removed. So basically, they had to delete their videos to get the strikes removed from their channel. But the issue persisted. So when LA Noire was coming out, I had a conversation with Machinima, and I said, what do you recommend? I want to play this game badly, but I'm nervous that if I upload it to DSP Gaming, that I'm going to get hit with copyright strikes, right? And the answer was basically simple. They said, we don't know what to tell you. We are all also getting hit with strikes. So it's at your own discretion. And obviously, if you get strikes, we'll do our best to clear them up for you. But there's no guarantee that you're not going to have issue if you play a Rockstar game. So this is why I ended up essentially doing my own channel called Red Dead DSP, where I did Red Dead Redemption 1 and its expansion, plus LA Noire and other content. Like all Rockstar content I put on that side channel, so that way you would have no issue. Okay? There you go. So, that's why I had a separate channel. Alright? Now, I see people saying incredibly stupid things in the chat. I'm just going to ignore it, because you guys are dumb. I mean, seriously, some of the dumbest thing I've ever said. You should be blurring out names. These people are public. They were employees of the company. Everyone knew it. It's on their resumes that they worked for the company. There's no problem with listing their names or showing these emails. There's nothing private here. This is just business discussions. This is not private info between people. This is not me showing their private stuff. Why would you think? Everyone knows they work for the companies. It's like I said, you go to LinkedIn, it's already there. So what the hell are you talking about? People are just being really stupid, you know? You're right, I should just ban them. What do you think? Should I just ban these idiots who are trying to derail my event? They're being dumb. Okay. Anyway, I received another tip here. I received a $2 tip from someone saying, did you ever meet Keemstar or Wings when you were with Machinima? I know they were with Machinima with someone else called Jimmy. I don't know who Jimmy is. No. In fact, the entire time I worked with Machinima, which I think we're actually getting to that story next, actually. Hold on. It might be the next story here. Yeah, we're getting to it right now. Okay? E3 2012 is going to be the next big story, okay? Hold on, because that's the wrong one I just clicked. What the hell? Oh, here we go. Oh, this is my first time I ever had an issue. Okay, this is an interesting email. Okay. Anyway, so the next story I'm going to tell, we have a few quick topics, but then we're going to go into E3 2012. This is the only time ever that I met anyone from Machinima in person. This is the only time ever that I had any association or meeting with anyone who also was a Machinima partner. And I've got a lot to say about this story. I'm going to finally tell you the full story. Because back then, I absolutely positively sugarcoated the story because I obviously didn't want Machinima to look bad. But let me tell you guys something. E3 2012 was the biggest shit show ever that I've been involved in my life up to then. Like, it was chaotic, it was messy, it was embarrassing, quite frankly. Because you're supposed to think that you're working for a big, YouTube partnership company, so everything's going to be done well. It was chaotic and, all right, I'll get to it in a second. We're almost there. But just to show you some examples of some things that I've said over the years. So, I had a contact here with Machinima. And then all of a sudden, the guy stopped responding to me out of nowhere. And I was like, is there a reason why things, why this guy's not responding to me anymore? Because this guy was always my contact. And now all of a sudden, he's not talking to me anymore. It's been like a week, maybe I can't remember if it was how many weeks. I don't know if I say this email. But I'm nervous. Like, is there something wrong with the guy? Is he sick? Is he out? This was the first case ever with Machinima that I had this kind of issue. Because up to now, it seems like if ever I sent an email within like a day or two, I get an answer. And it was always a good, good answer, responsive or whatever. Right? And essentially, the response I got was basically, don't worry. The guy is, was just busy or whatever. And what ended up happening was then I ended up getting some new contacts to talk to. And within a month or two, as you can see, this is now April of 2012. So now I've been a partner with Machinima for roughly a year. I signed with them in January 2011. I started uploading, videos under that partnership in February, right? So April 2012, I get offered a new contract with Machinima. All right? This contract, if you can believe it, listen to this. This contract is more lucrative than the original contract they offered me. If you remember, I said the original contract was $2 per 1,000 views. It was a flat rate. Every 1,000 views I got under Machinima, I made $2. Okay? The new contract, all right, not only gave me a slightly increase, I want to say it was like $225 or something like that, so it was even more than the flat rate originally, but they also offered me a bonus structure that was tiered per performance. So here's how it worked. If you brought in 1 million views a month, that's tier 1. If you bring in 5 million views a month on your channel, that's like tier 2. And if you bring in 10 million or more views a month, that's tier 3. And those tiers, you will actually get paid even more money for your views if you hit those tiers. So you get a base pay, and then based on video view performance, you'd incrementally get steps up to even higher tiers. And the way it worked, I think, was that if you hit the highest tier, like you would lock into that tier for like a month, and then if your views did dip, then it could change again. But basically, these tiers were floating, and it was cool for me because basically during busier times of the year, it looked like I was going to make way, way, way more money. It looked like I was going to make a ton more money based on this data. All right. And at that point, I had a discussion with these guys, and the discussion was that I was at very minimum, I was going to be mid-tier, but there were some months, like the fall months, where I would pass up into what they considered the upper echelon, and I would have the high-tier views, and I would actually make bonus bucks. So you want to talk about why would anyone have signed with Machinima, right? Back then, are you kidding me? So not only am I making crazy money on views, but now they're going to give me bonuses based on my actual performance month over month. That's crazy. It was unprecedented. I didn't ask for it. They just offered it to me. I was like, oh yeah, like why wouldn't I accept more money? I'd be pretty stupid to turn that down, right? So here's the deal. Okay? Everything's going well with Machinima. Everything's going great, actually. Like, I'm a year into their contract with them. I don't have any issues. All right? One of the things that was always an issue with them that I found oddly unprofessional, all right? As you guys know, back in the day, I had a co-op partner by the name of John Rambo. Not only did we do a weekly wrestling commentary show that we called Smart Guys, it was a once a week show where we commented on all the pro wrestling shows that were on TV, but also we did co-op gameplay once a week, all right? And it was all kinds of fun stuff. It was a good variety of games and new releases or old retro games, you know, whatever we wanted to do. And it was very profitable and very, very, you know, popular. People liked the co-op stuff that we did. But I wanted to pay John for his work with me. And, you know, John appreciated that. He absolutely, you know, wanted to get paid for his work as well. He should be. Okay? So we sat down and we hashed it out. We said, well, we're going to do it fair. You're going to make half of everything, John. So whatever we actually make on these videos when we're together, you will get 50% down the middle. All right? Essentially, the way it would work is taxes is what? Like 30%? So we would cut like 20, 30%, whatever the taxes were, would be cut out. And then whatever's left for profit, 50-50, you keep half, I keep half. And that was that's what I wanted to do. The problem was, all right, there was no data to see how much money a video made. Back then, there was no YouTube analytics. Right now, if you're a YouTuber and you have a channel, there's a tab called Analytics. And you could click on this tab. And on that tab, it'll list all your videos. And you could search for specific videos. You could select a group of videos. And that will break it down by so many criteria. It'll have the amount of views, the engagement on those videos, the demographics of the people who are watching those videos, the amount of money you made on those videos, if you gained any new subscribers when people were watching those videos. Like, all that data is now publicly available. Back then, over a decade ago, none of that data was available at all. You didn't even know what you were making on your videos. You had no clue most of the time. So what I had to do every month is I had to keep requesting from Machinima, can you send me a report that says how much money I've made this month? And can you send me a breakdown of the money that I made for these videos? Because if you don't, how would I ever know how much money our co-op made? So originally what I ended up doing was guessing. I had this flat rate contract where it was $2 per 1,000 video views. So literally what we would do, you know, John would come over the end of the month for our usual co-op day. I say, all right, John, let's look at the views. And we'd bring up all the videos for the month that we had made together. And we would add all the views together. And we would do the math. And just based on that, well, I know it's $2 per 1,000 views. Subtract the taxes, 50-50. And I would send him a giant payment via PayPal that we deposited right to his bank. And that's how we got paid every week or every month. It was monthly that I would pay him, okay? But the problem was that didn't last forever. And we'll talk about that a little later, because what ended up happening was later on, there was no more flat rate contracts. Everything started being paid on what you actually made on ad revenue. And when they started changing contracts to do that, the problem was, sadly, you couldn't figure out how much money you were making on videos. And it made it impossible for me to pay him. You'll see later on, there's some videos where I complain about this. But the reason I wanted to bring this up now is because these were the days when everything was lucrative. Flat rate contracts, everything was easy to figure out how much money you were making. John was super happy. I was super happy. And that's how we started getting to the conversation about E3 2012. And that's the next topic that we're actually going to tackle. However, I do feel like this is an ample opportunity for me to split the part and keep this series digestible in 1-hour segments. So what I would like to say is, if you're watching live here on YouTube, thank you. You've been a great audience so far. Thanks to those who are supporting the stream. Thanks to those watching who've liked the stream so very much. If you're watching this on demand on YouTube, there likely will be at least 1 to 2 more parts, probably 2, I'm thinking. I hope you're enjoying the show. What do you think of this style of video? Are you enjoying me telling these stories about me being a partner with Machinima and showing you some of the corroboration of correspondence that I had with them? Are you entertained? Are you informed? Are you having a good one? Give me feedback. Were you a partner with Machinima back in the day? What was your experience with them like? Did you have a direct point of contact to talk to? Did you get paid these lucrative contracts? What was your contract like when you signed with Machinima? I would love to hear all of this, because I only have it from my perspective, and I heard a lot of stuff over the years that was not in line with my experience with Machinima. So what I'd like is to hear from you. If you could reach out, leave a comment on this video. Let me know what you think in the comments, all right? Or let me know about your own experiences. In addition, hey, if you're enjoying the project, if you could like this video, I would really appreciate that, all right? More parts coming. Thanks for watching The Dark Side of Machinima. I'll be back shortly with more.